What's going on, guys? This is Alex with Metasophocles Gaming, bringing another 3 collector booster packs of the March of the Machine. So far, really pleased with this set. Let me know what you guys think of this set as a whole in the comments down below, and let's go ahead and get right into today's video. Okay, we're going to start off by opening this one here, or ripping it and not actually getting it open. That works too. Alright, and we get to go through the commons and get to the uncommons here. So we'll start off with a Omen Hawker. Tap to add 1 blue and 1 colorless. Spend this mana only to activate abilities. Get Invasion of Kylum, which on the back is a sorcery to create 2 3/2 red and white warrior creature tokens with, whenever this creature and at least one other creature token attack, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Be interesting. And getting into the rares, start off with an Invasion of Kaldheim. When Invasion of Kaldheim enters the battlefield, exile all cards from your hand, then draw that many cards until the end of your turn. You may play cards exiled this way. Pretty cool. And then it becomes a Pyre of the World Tree. Discard a land. Pyre of the World Tree deals 2 damage to any target. Whenever you discard a land, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. So, pretty interesting. Zimone and Dina be a really good commander. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. You can tap it to sacrifice another creature. Draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you control 8 or more lands, repeat this process once. So definitely a very interesting card, and you can, cause a lot of damage by drawing, your second card by just using their ability, create tokens and sack them, and be pretty fun. You get a Path of the Pyromancer. Discard all cards in your hand and add 1 red mana for each card discarded this way. Then draw that many cards +1. And Will of the Planeswalkers. Starting with you, each player votes for Planeswalk or Chaos. If Planeswalk gets more votes, Planeswalk. If Planeswalk gets more votes, oh, right, it's telling you to Planeswalk. Yeah. If Chaos gets more votes, the vote is tied, Chaos ensues. I don't know what that means, if I'm being perfectly honest. If it has anything to do with whatever, like plane chase or something, I've never done anything with that. So we get a Bright Palm, Soul Awakener, Fox Shaman, backup 1 for 3. Whenever this creature attacks, double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature. That creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less this turn. That's pretty cool. And then we get a Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger. Pretty awesome. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. Whenever Kroxa enters the battlefield or attacks, each opponent discards a card. Then each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. And you pay 2 red and 2 black to escape and exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. Pretty cool. I like the constellation look of these Theros gods, essentially, although this is an elder giant, not a god, but same set, same styling, but definitely looks really cool. I am a fan of that for sure. I'll go ahead and open this next one here, and Halo Hopper, little frog that looks like it's origami. Go to the uncommons here. And we get Mirror Shield Hoplite. Vigilance 2/2 for 1 red, 1 white. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a backup ability, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability triggers only once each turn. Nizumi Freewheeler, which you can transform. So when it enters the battlefield, each player mills 3 cards, and you can transform it for 5 and 1 Phyrexian white. And it will get Menace, become a 4/5, and when this creature transforms into Hideous Fleshwheeler, Put target permanent card with a mana value of 2 or less from the graveyard under the battlefield under your control. That's pretty cool. So first thing we get in here for the rares is a Bloated Processor, 3 mana for a 3/2. Sacrifice another Phyrexian, put a +1/+1 counter on Bloated Processor. When it dies, incubate X, where X is its power. It's pretty cool. Knight Errant of Eos, 5 mana for a 4/4 with Convoke. Knight Errant of when Knight Errant of Eos enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less from among them, where X is the number of creatures that convoked Knight Errant of Eos. Put the revealed cards into your hand, then shuffle. We get a Sidar Jabari of Zhalfir, which is a 4/3 with Eminence, which is wicked powerful in my opinion. I don't know his ability for it, but whenever you attack with 1 or more knights, if Sidar Jabari of the Zhalfir is in the command zone or on the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. Flying first strike, when it deals combat damage to a player, return target knight creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So that's actually really interesting and very powerful in my opinion. If you're playing knight cards, that is. We do get a Heliod of the Radiant Dawn, or sorry, not of, but the Radiant Dawn. It's a cool constellation-looking god. When Heliod, the Radiant Dawn, enters the battlefield, return target enchantment card that isn't a god from your graveyard to your hand, and you can transform him for 3 and 1 Phyrexian blue. Oh, and you're dropping Heliod. And you get Heliod the Warped Eclipse. You may cast spells as though they had flash, and spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card your opponents have drawn this turn. That is an interesting ability. We get a Judith, the Scourge Diva. Other creatures you control get +1/+0. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Judith, the Scourge Diva, deals 1 damage to any target. Pretty interesting. Not the greatest, but definitely take it. I still like the art, or the border and the art style of those legend cards that they have in the back of the packs. They look really nice, so definitely won't complain about getting any of those. They just look really cool. So moving on, we get a Marshal of Zhalfir for the first uncommon here. Other knights you control get +1/+1. You can tap 1 blue and 1 white and tap him to tap another target creature. A Harried Artisan and the island there. So we get a Doomscar Warrior, which we have pulled already. A Glissa Herald of Predation, which we have pulled already. Ichor Elixir, 4 mana for a artifact. If you would roll 1 or more planar dice, instead roll that many planar dice +1 and ignore 1 and tap to add 2. And we get a Kogla and Yadaro in a really cool art there. Ape Dinosaur Turtle, 7/7 for 2 red and 2 green. When it enters the battlefield, choose 1. It gains trample and haste until end of turn, or it fights target creature you don't control. You can pay 2, 1 red, 1 green to discard Kogla and Yadaro, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment, shuffle this back into your library from your graveyard, then draw a card. So that's actually really cool. We get an Eric Smithy's Slumbering Isle, which is another one of those really cool looking constellations. It's a 12/12 crab for 4 mana, 2 colorless, 1 blue, 1 green. Enters the battlefield tapped with 5 slumber counters on it. As long as it has a slumber counter on it, it is a land. Whenever you cast a spell, you may remove a slumber counter from it, and then you tap it to add 1 blue, 1 green. So that is actually really interesting, and it's not a new card, but I have not seen that. This card, on the other hand, looks really cool and is very interesting to me, and I would love to use this and maybe make a deck with this as my commander. Cool Halo foil on that. Definitely. So this is probably the favorite card that I pulled out of this pack, or this opening, I should say. Let me know what you guys think. What was your favorite card that we pulled today? Kogla Niodaro is definitely up there for me. Just really, really cool art on that card, and I like the way this looks with that foiling. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.